I bought this BMW for $500 and it changed my life. Let me explain. It was August 2022. I was working at the firehouse doing my normal shift and this gem came up on Craigslist. The car had a major coolant leak and a check engine light on for 2 lean on bank 1 and 2, misfires, as well as a transmission torque converter code. I jumped the battery, took it for a road test, and I was sold. This thing was complete, and I've always wanted an E46. Now, just a few months before that, I achieved one of my major dreams in life, which was to purchase my first house, which is where we are right now. I had been working in fire for a little over 3 years at that time, but I really missed wrenching, so me and my brother jammed down the coast 12.5 hours, picked up my toolbox in Southern California, and brought it back up to the North Coast. I've always dreamed of being a firefighter ever since I was young. My dad was a fire captain as long as I can remember, and it always seemed like the best job in the world. But after working a few seasons as a wildland firefighter, I came to realize how many hours it took each summer to make good wages. I really wanted to get back to doing some wrenching and start working on these BMWs again. Prior to the fire service, I had worked in the BMW industry for about 6 years, specializing in BMW and Mini Cooper. Worked my way up from entry-level technician to shop manager. YouTube is my favorite platform. I don't even watch other streaming platforms anymore, and I always dreamed of making a YouTube channel. Now, thanks to my brother, the channel was born and Day Off DIY was created. This car right here was the whole reason why it started. This car was the very first video I had on my channel, and that was diagnosing the check engine light and the coolant leak and getting the repairs done. Looking back at my very first video, it is really hard for me to re-watch, but I'm grateful for every single one. I now have a playlist of 21 videos I've performed on this car, probably well over 200 hours of labor into it. I've also invested thousands of dollars into this car. But sadly, now that it's driving perfect, it's time for someone else to enjoy it and for me to sell her and let her go. So I thought it would be a fun idea to go through the car together, and I can show you all of the work I've done throughout all of these videos. Let's start with the exterior. She got a full clay bar, plus a full polish and a wax, as well as we clay barred all of the wheels. We removed the tint from all the windows, and we also used a glass stripper in order to get all the oxidation off of the exterior of the glass. We refinished the headlight lenses and resealed them with clear coat, and we replaced both front cornering lights. She got a new set of wipers, and we replaced the windshield cowl down below the windshield. Also replaced the roundel on the trunk. The exterior is where most of the blemishes lie. We have a little bit of clear coat peeling on the hood. The hood's been resprayed, so it has some crazing, although it's still decent. A little touch of rust right there above the passenger headlight and some fading on the front bumper. Also have a little bit of clear coat peeling away on the driver's side mirror, as well as a little bit of clear coat coming off on top of the driver rear door handle. In the interior, we pulled out both front seats, deep cleaned the carpets, and I replaced this front passenger seat with the seat out of my manual transmission E46 over there. To one of our viewers, Andy, we also replaced the sunroof control cover. We also replaced the driver's side seat controller to fix the missing button, thanks to Andy as well. And just this morning, I got the steering wheel put back together and I repainted that lower trim. Inside the engine bay, we resealed the valve cover as well as replaced all 6 spark plugs and all the secondary air vacuum lines. We also resealed the oil filter housing and replaced the Vanos oil line. In our second video on this car, we removed the intake manifold and we replaced all of the intake manifold gaskets as well as the crankcase breather. I also replaced the 2 hard rigid plastic coolant pipes underneath the manifold and every single coolant hose inside the engine bay. I also replaced the diesel valve and both intake boots. In the front, I also replaced the thermostat, the cooling fan, the radiator, the upper and lower radiator hose, plus the temperature sensor down there on the bottom left. We also replaced both serpentine belts, the idler pulley, the tensioner pulley, and the AC tensioner. We also replaced both hood struts and the oil cap. As far as underneath the front end, look how good this thing looks. You'd be hard pressed to find an E46 with 199K that looks this good. As far as repairs, I replaced this rack and pinion with a used unit as well as replaced inner and outer tie rods on both sides and gave her a fresh alignment. We also replaced driver and passenger side control arm bushings with new brackets. We also dropped the subframe down and replaced driver and passenger side engine mounts. In one of our very first episodes, we replaced the fuel filter, and a cracked vacuum line was actually the cause of our lean code check engine light. We fully removed the transmission and replaced the torque converter with a used unit. We also dropped the pan, resealed it with a new gasket, all fresh fluid and filter, and replaced both trans-cooler O-rings. While the transmission was out, we removed the drive shaft and replaced the center support bearing. The flex disc was still good, and we also replaced both transmission mounts up there on the cross member. In the rear end, I removed the rear differential and pressed in a new differential bushing. Also, I replaced the rear left wheel bearing and did a full brake service on the rear end with all new rotors, TechStart pads, and a new brake clip on the driver's side. We polished the exhaust tips, and we hydrated and lubricated all of the door seals as well as door hinges and door lock actuators. We also replaced the window regulator in the rear left, and we resealed the vapor barrier and fixed a water leak in the rear right. It's got a fresh battery manufactured in 2023, and it has a full toolkit. This car actually has a 6 CD changer too. That's enough talking. Let me show you how she drives. The heat works great and the AC is ice cold. Okay, here comes a pole, wide open. '80. She tracks perfect. She's strong. I still had some room left in the throttle on that one. She picks up and goes and drives so good. Honestly, I don't even really want to sell her, but I need the money. I need to get the money out of this car and keep investing it into new projects. Got to keep growing the channel. Well, you saw it. She absolutely rips. You can get on it wide open throttle. She shifts beautifully at 6,000 RPM. Zero rotational vibration. This transmission shifts perfectly. It continues to amaze me every time I drive the car. And every time I drive it, I get a little bit sad that I have to sell it. Now, she's not perfect. She definitely has a few blemishes. You know, the exterior paint, a couple things on the interior. The sunroof is non-operational. It's a bit crunchy. And she is missing the front left lower fender well as well as the underbody panel. But she is still indeed for sale, and I've done all I can on her, and it's time to move on to the next project. Now, like I said in the title, guys, this car really did change my life. It gave me an opportunity to start this channel and to put myself out there and to showcase my work. And without viewers like you guys, I would have never stuck with it. You know, you just feed me with positivity and motivation and appreciation for the work that I'm putting out there for you guys. And I appreciate you so damn much. We're almost at 9,000 subscribers now, and we started this channel 9 months ago. Because of you guys, I'm able to leave my job as a wildland firefighter and do YouTube full time. And it's all thanks to viewers like you that are encouraging and motivating and supporting. Working as a firefighter, I'd be gone all summer. I'd show up to work and get shipped off for a month-long assignment, come back for a couple days, leave for another 2 or 3 weeks. And you know, I really missed out on a lot of good quality time with friends and family, beach days with my nieces and nephews, and being able to spend that good time with them throughout the summer. I was also able to get this little puppy, my little Sagey girl. And I've always wanted a dog, but you know, you can't have a dog as a firefighter when you're leaving for a shift that lasts 2, 3, 4 days at a time. It's not been easy by any means, but it has perpetuated a lot of growth within myself, and I've had to develop a lot of discipline in order to maintain my work schedule throughout the week. But it sure does feel good working for myself. If any of you guys are in California and you're interested, I'd be willing to deliver this car to you as well. We could make some content out of it. You can be in one of my videos, and you got 21 videos in the playlist that document every single repair that I've done on this car. Also, this is a perfect time to say thank you to the members of my YouTube channel. You guys believe in me and support me, and I really appreciate you. Johnny Tweed, Frankie, and Ivor Van Werven. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I hope this video gave you a little bit of insight as far as my journey and how we got here 9 months later. It's been an absolute wild ride, but I gotta say, my life has just changed a complete 180 degrees from working as a firefighter to doing this full time now. And I can't thank you guys enough. I hope you guys enjoyed, or I hope you learned something new. I thought it would be fun to go through the car and kind of show it off as a whole finalized project. We still got plenty more content on the way while this one sells. We got parts coming in for the E83 X3 this week, and we're going to be doing a big teardown on that. as well as lots of repairs, so keep an eye on the channel. We got more content coming soon. And until then, I will see you on my next day off. Cheers, everybody.